Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and just like to ask, are you all enjoying getting together and having this opportunity to mix and mingle? It's good, isn't it? And have you picked up some good and useful information while you've been here? Hopefully you're ready for some more. I'd like to start really with a story. I'll just put these down. I'd like to start with a story really about elephants. Now, what's that got to do with marketing, you might ask? Well, elephants happen to be one of my favourite creatures. Of course, they're one of the big five of the African animals. And but in some parts of the world, they're used in the local economy for work, and they're trained at a very early age, really from birth. And the way that they're trained is that they're tethered to a very strong post. And they're kept on this post, tethered to this post, for quite a long time, period of months, really when they're starting to mature. And they learn to walk around this post. They can move, they can walk, they can change direction. When they reach a few months old, they're taken off that post, and wherever their handler takes them, they follow, but they never move further away than that distance from the post. And that's something that's quite significant, as you'll see when we go through this presentation. Why do you need a coach? Well, perhaps some of you are keen rugby fans. You follow the rugby. Perhaps you watched the match on Saturday. Stuart Lancaster, he was brought in as the England rugby coach back in 2011 after the England squad fairly bombed out of the World Cup. And what was happening was that it wasn't what the players were doing on the field, but it was their antics off the field that was creating a problem in their performance. Stuart Lancaster, who's generally acknowledged to be really quite an amazing coach, came in and he really cut to the heart of the problem. And what his philosophy in coaching is that you have to have a plan, you have to prepare for the good times and the bad times, you have to focus on the culture, not performance, and the score takes care of itself. And I think that philosophy is starting to really bear fruit, and it looks like England are in with a good chance in this year's World Cup later on this year. Andy Murray, now I don't know about you, but I think Andy Murray is a pretty good tennis player. I was fortunate enough to see him at Wimbledon as he was coming up through the ranks, and he played an amazing game and really got the crowd going. But they reached a point where he was losing Grand Slams, and there was doubt about whether he really had the mental capacity to make it, to win those titles. And he engaged Ivan Lendl as his coach. And under Ivan Lendl, he really made a big transition in his style of playing. He became much more aggressive. And what he said about Ivan Lendl as his coach was that he believed in him when no one else did, and he told him some home truths. And that really helped him change his game and up his game. And under Ivan Lendl, of course, he went on to win 2 Grand Slams and 2 Olympic golds. Quite an achievement. And incidentally, Andy Murray also has a nutritionist coach and a fitness coach, and lots of coaches for different areas of his game. So you don't have to be doing something wrong or doing something badly to benefit from a coach. Now, I'm not suggesting these will all apply to you, but there might be 1 or 2 things that you can relate to. They're things that I've encountered as a business coach working with organisations and businesses of all sizes, whether it's a very small micro business where really the business owner is the business, right through to large organisations that are run by a board or a leadership team. But there are reasons why people do engage with a coach. So you might believe that the business will suffer if you're not there all the time, and taking a holiday is totally out of the question. Perhaps you might remember the days when you started up in business, those first 12 months when you were there all the time, giving it everything you got. And there was this sense of you had to be there to make it grow. If your business is more than 5 years old and you are still having the same issues that you had in those startup days, then you need a coach. You absolutely need a coach to help you break out of that rut, that way of working, to bring about some change that's going to help you move forward. Perhaps you feel you're married to your business, and in a way, being a business owner and leading a business is a bit like a relationship. And you have to work all the hours, but after a while, as I said, in business you have peaks, you have troughs. I've been in business now for nearly 20 years, have been through good times, have been through some very bad and tough times. And you do go through phases where you feel excited about the business, things are going really well. But you also go through times where it's just so much hassle. Is it really worth the effort? Is it really worth it? I'm working at the moment with a business owner. He's a publisher, runs a business. And his biggest issue in his business is himself. He's chasing that dream. There's always something else out there that he could be doing, that he should be doing, that's going to bring in that money quickly and fast, that holy grail of business. And I'm working with him to bring him back to basics, to say, why did you start in business? What does this business offer you? Where could you take it? Let's re-look at the plan. And a coach can help to do that. Your business doesn't generate enough profit to justify your efforts. Now, perhaps you're all familiar with the saying, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is king. A lot of business owners chase turnover. That's the thing that they want to measure themselves by. And for each of you here, what you want to make in your business, the profit levels, will be as individual as each of you. But it's important that it is profitable, that you have cash in your business. Now, one of my specialisms, I'm a marketing specialist. I work with companies, particularly on their marketing plans, and helping them look at how they can generate business and generate sales for their business. How many of you live off referrals, who gain business through referrals? Quite a lot of you, I would imagine. And how many of you would like more referrals? Well, that's an area of marketing that is so important. You need a sales force out there. You need people that will refer you. It's one of the quickest and most effective ways of gaining new business. And if you don't have a plan in your business to nurture referrals, to find people who will refer you, who will become part of your extended sales team, then your potential for growth is stunted. So if you want to look for new referrals, if you want to develop a program and a business model that helps you get more referrals, a coach can help you do that. Fallen out of love with your business. Well, as I said, a lot of people do get bored, go through ruts. If you've lost your passion, a lot of business owners do lose their passion for their business. Not quite sure where to go. I can't tell you how many companies I work with that feel they're stagnating. Very often, they've been very successful and they've really grown quickly, which you often do, particularly from a startup point of view. It depends where you are in your stage of business life. But that, where you plateau, where you stagnate, start to feel that you're stagnating, you're not progressing, you're not developing, you're not moving forward. How do you get past that? Who have you got around you who can help you move that forward? Do you need to bring fresh blood into your business? Do you need to look outside the business? Do you have colleagues, associates that you can talk to? A coach can help you look at that as well. You might have a lot of business experience, and I'm sure in this room there's a huge amount of business experience. But have you invested in yourself? Have you continued that development? Now, I've got a daughter who's just finished A-levels. She's got her results and she's decided to take a gap year. She wants to get a broad experience. She wants to build some life skills. She wants to help search around and find something that she wants to commit to and do for the next stage of her career. And we expect that of young people. When we bring people into our teams, we train them, we put them on training programs, we help them learn. Why does that stop? Why does that stop at a certain point? Who decides it needs to stop? Now, I'm a coach. I've been in marketing for a lot of years. I've got a lot of experience under my belt. But I am constantly looking for ways to develop myself. Speaking here today is one of the things that I'm working on. It's a development. It's something that I want to get better at. How many people do you know that say, I can't do that, I'm not doing that, I don't know how to do it? I like to add the word yet. It's quite a useful little word. If you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it yet. If it's going to make a difference to your business, it's going to bring you growth, then you need to find out and you need to commit to making that happen. And a coach can help you to do that. Perhaps you've lost sight of where your business is going and why. One of the things that I do as a coach going into a business is to work with the owner or the leadership team to look at a 3-year plan. Where do you want to be in 3 years? What will be happening in your business? What are the targets? What results are you looking for? And then we work back 2 years to 1 year. And then we look at a 12-month plan. What needs to happen to start that process to get to those 3 years? And we put some measurements in after 3 months, after 4 months, whatever that period is. We assess and we review and we look at how far along that path we're going. And sometimes we need to adjust the plan and sometimes we're further forward than we expected to be. It's a journey, but you have to know where you're going, and a plan can really help focus that mind and help you gain back that sight of where the business is going. Just because you're already good, and I'm sure many of you have very successful businesses, but perhaps you recognise that to be truly outstanding, you need something a little bit extra. One of the things that I find working with business owners is that who holds you accountable? Perhaps if you're part of a board or a leadership team, you're accountable to other people. But when you're at the top of the tree, you're really only accountable to yourself. So it's incredibly useful to have someone coming in and saying, have you done your best? Is it really your best? Or are you really saying it's not worth the effort? So I'll say it's doing my best. Someone who'll push and ask questions. A coach isn't there to do it for you. A coach is there to push, to encourage, and to work with you to make growth happen. Who makes a good coach? Obviously, in your line of work, you have to have accreditations, you have to have experience, and the same is true with a coach. I would say that these are the things that if you are looking to engage someone to help you in whatever capacity, and it could even be a sports coach, these things hold true. If you want to sort of get fit and or you're training for a marathon, or you're doing something personally as well as in business, these things will hold true. Relevant business experience perhaps sounds obvious. Ideally, having run their own successful business. I know a lot of coaches that have come out of corporate life and know a lot about perhaps the technical side of an industry or a sector, but they haven't had any direct experience of running their own business. They don't really know what it's like to employ people, the challenges of managing people. They don't really have the experience of planning financially. And having gone through what it's like to run your own business, there is no greater experience that you can share and express and help people overcome some of those simple and small things that you don't necessarily have the experience of. Experience of a range of industry sectors. Now, I don't know if you're the sort of person or have people in your teams who kind of say, oh, well, that won't work in my business. I've tried that, it doesn't work. I can tell you that one of the real beauties of working across different industries and organisations is that I can say, right, this model has happened and it's worked in this business and it's transferable over here and it can work. So working with someone that's got a range of across industries can really add breadth to your business knowledge and experience. Having a proven track record of coaching, and I don't just mean working with lots of different companies. It's about having testimonials. It's about people who are able to say, yes, working with Barbara or working with X coach, working with this person, I've really seen a development in the business and we've got these results. We've made changes and it's had a real impact on our business. So if you're thinking of it, working alongside someone, getting someone into your business, then that might be something to ask them. Businesses who are similar to yours, and it may not necessarily be in the industry, but that might be important for you. But perhaps in terms of size, in the way that the structure of the organisation, in terms of your customer base and what their needs are. So finding somebody that's had those similar experience in similar businesses is very important. Affiliations and qualifications. Now, this isn't necessarily important for every business sector, but in a highly regulated industry, it can be incredibly important. The financial sector is one that's highly regulated. I'm sure there are aspects of your industry that are highly regulated. And it may be that within business coaching, a knowledge or an understanding of what those constraints that you're working under are is important, because that can affect how your business operates. Having glowing references and testimonials, well, that's as important if you're offering a consultancy or going in, you'll know that is very important. You're only as good as the work that you do and the testimonials that you receive, and that's as true for coaches as it is for anyone. Make sure for your business that you get those testimonials, that you gather them up. They are important parts of your marketing to be able to demonstrate that you can do what you say you can do and that you've created some results. Working with someone that has good rapport and listening skills. I hope perhaps you agree that people buy people. There are lots of businesses offering very similar services and products. And what people buy is very often the person. So working with someone that's able to build a rapport with you, that has good listening skills, that can get to the heart of what you need as a business, that can probe and ask questions and confirm, can really set you on a path for growth. A question creates an idea that moves through to a change in your business that can create results. Find a coach who's inquisitive, who's daring, who's motivational, someone who'll ask you questions that won't just sort of stroke your ego and say, that's wonderful, aren't you great, aren't you fabulous? Businesses and business owners in particular need people who will push them, to be the best. If you're ambitious, if you have potential, you need that push behind you to bring about change and make things happen. First understand, and then first understand and then be understood. Very important. When you go into a situation and you're having to draw conclusions, you have to gain all the facts in order to analyse it and come up with the solution, and it's no different to coaching. You have to understand what's happening in a business. As a coach, I have to go in, I have to talk to business owners, I have to talk to the team to find out what is happening in the business. Listening, it's a real skill. Very often when we're having a conversation, we are automatically forming a response in our heads. We're not really listening to what is being said. We're having a conversation with ourselves, having responses to what's being said and forming our own response. A good coach will really listen before they respond. They'll get the facts. And supporting the business with a win-win culture. What's a win-win culture? Well, when it's a benefit, there's a benefit for both parties. Thinking of referrals with your marketing, if you're looking to increase the number of referrals you have, what I certainly do is think about what can I offer somebody? What is it that they will get from working with me? And if I go with that proposition, if I say, would you like whatever it is, then the chances are they will give something back to me. Creating that win-win and building that into your business plan, into your marketing, can have huge impact. Now, Mike mentioned at the beginning that I'm a registered expert with the Business Growth Service, and that's a programme, it's a government-backed programme that provides, it's a subsidised coaching programme and business support programme for small and medium-sized businesses. It's been running for 3 years, it's just entering the next stage of a further 3 years. But these are figures that the government came out with at the end of the first 3 years, at the beginning of this year, that measured what difference working with a coach has on businesses. And what it found was that on average, the average UK small and medium-sized enterprise achieved 7% growth, which isn't bad, it's growth and it's going up. But those that worked on the coaching programme achieved 32% growth. And that's quite a staggering difference. I'm not suggesting it's the only reason that growth happened, but it could be a significant part of it. The government also measures employment, and employment's a key part of the Business Growth Service. And again, the average business grew employment by 5%. With a coaching programme, employment grew by 36%. So those are quite key statistics. If you are looking at your business and looking at bringing in change and doing things differently in your business, this is quite a useful model to follow, and it's one that I use as part of the coaching programme that I deliver. It starts off at the top really, which is the mission. What's the purpose of your business? Who are you there for? Who are you serving? What is it that you're offering to people, and how are they benefiting? Then look at your identity. Who are you as an organisation? What sort of team are you? What are the things that people are buying at you? What does your brand say about you? There's your beliefs and values. These are the things that you hold really dear to you. And you'll have them personally, and you'll have them as a business. And if you are the business, the two are likely to be very, very similar or mirror each other. Capabilities. What are the capabilities? What are the skills that you have in your business? Do you have everything you need from a capability point of view to be successful and to grow? What are the behaviours? What's going on in the business? What are the team doing? What is the experience that your customers, your clients are having dealing with you? Do they mirror your beliefs and values? Are they the same as the mission? Does it all tie together? And last of all, the environment. That's the where you are, your marketplace, what's happening in your organisation. And all these things are interlinked. I like to think of coaching. I don't know if any of you are keen gardeners or get out in the garden, but when you have a dry spell, you might get the garden hose out to water your garden. And as you unreel it and the water comes on, you turn it on, and the water splutters and stops. What's happened is there's a kink somewhere along that garden hose. What a coach does is they'll come in and help you find where that kink is and help you unblock it, and the flow will continue to go through. Coach doesn't come in and do it for you. A coach works with you to help you make it happen. So remember, if you want to change what's happening in your business and you want to get something different out of it, and you don't always want to get what you've always got, you have to do something differently, then perhaps it's time to find a coach. Thank you.